Ladies and gentlemen, in life there comes a moment when you realize that the key to success, fulfillment, and peace is never in begging, chasing, or playing games. We often find ourselves caught in patterns of desperation, trying to force relationships, opportunities, and outcomes that are simply not meant for us. But today, I want to remind you of something powerful. Knowing your worth is one of the most powerful lessons you can learn in life. It's about understanding that you are valuable, deserving of respect, love, and opportunities, and that you don't need to seek external validation to prove that truth. When you truly know your worth, it shifts the way you approach everything in life, from relationships to your career to the way you treat yourself. It's the foundation upon which you build your self-esteem and confidence, and it's what protects you from settling for less than you deserve. The first step in knowing your worth is acknowledging that you are enough just as you are. So many people fall into the trap of believing that they need to change themselves to be accepted or loved by others. They feel the pressure to conform to society's standards, to become something they're not in order to fit in or gain approval. But the truth is, you don't need to change who you are to be worthy. You are already enough. Your worth isn't determined by your appearance, your job title, or the approval of others. It comes from within, from recognizing that you have unique qualities, talents, and potential that make you special. One of the most significant barriers to knowing your worth is the constant comparison to others. We live in a world where social media and societal standards encourage us to compare ourselves to people who may seem more successful, more attractive, or more accomplished. This comparison can cause us to feel inadequate or unworthy. But when you compare yourself to others, you're overlooking your own strengths and what makes you unique. Everyone has their own path, their own journey, and their own struggles. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others is the moment you start embracing your individuality. Your story, your journey, and your achievements are yours, and they're worth celebrating. Another important aspect of knowing your worth is learning to say no. Saying no is a powerful act of self-respect. It's about setting boundaries and protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. When you know your worth, you understand that you don't have to say yes to everything that comes your way. You don't have to overextend yourself for the sake of pleasing others. You don't have to tolerate disrespect, mistreatment, or toxic relationships. Saying no is not about being selfish. It's about valuing yourself enough to protect your peace and prioritize what truly matters to you. When you know your worth, you also stop seeking approval from others. For many people, the need for validation from others is one of the most destructive forces in their lives. They seek praise, recognition, and approval from their peers, family, or even strangers, and they measure their worth based on how others perceive them. But the truth is, no one else can define your worth for you. You are the only one who can determine your value. When you stop seeking approval and start validating yourself, you free yourself from the opinions of others. You realize that you don't need anyone's permission to pursue your dreams, to live authentically, or to follow your own path. You have the power to create your own narrative, and that narrative doesn't depend on the approval of others. Knowing your worth also means taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. Self-care is an essential part of valuing yourself. It's about taking the time to nurture your body, mind, and soul. When you prioritize your well-being, you send a message to yourself and to the world that you matter. You deserve to be healthy, happy, and at peace. This might mean eating well, exercising, resting, or engaging in activities that bring you joy. It also means seeking help when you need it, whether that's through therapy, talking to a trusted friend, or finding other ways to cope with life's challenges. Taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity. In addition to self-care, knowing your worth means being willing to walk away from situations that don't serve you. This could be in relationships, jobs, or any area of your life where you feel undervalued or unappreciated. If people are consistently treating you poorly, not respecting your boundaries, or taking advantage of your time and energy, it's time to walk away. This is one of the most powerful ways to demonstrate to yourself that you know your worth. You refuse to settle for less than you deserve. You don't need to beg for love, respect, or attention because you know that you're worthy of all of those things without having to beg for them. Knowing your worth also means being comfortable with your own company. The more you value yourself, the less you'll feel the need to seek external validation. You'll be able to enjoy your own company, pursue your passions, and build a life that's fulfilling on your own terms. This is an incredibly liberating feeling. When you can stand alone, confident in who you are and what you bring to the table, you no longer rely on others to define your sense of self-worth. One of the most important things to remember when learning to know your worth is that it's a journey, not a destination. It takes time, self-reflection, and a willingness to let go of negative self-beliefs and old patterns of behavior. You may encounter setbacks along the way, but each step forward is a step toward greater self-awareness and empowerment. And when you truly know your worth, you will never again settle for anything less than what you deserve. Knowing your worth is about recognizing your value, setting boundaries, and not allowing anyone or anything to make you feel less than. It's about being confident in who you are, trusting your abilities, and refusing to accept disrespect. When you truly understand your worth, you won't waste time chasing validation or approval from others. You'll embrace your uniqueness, live authentically, and create a life that reflects the incredible person you are. When you find yourself constantly chasing after people, opportunities, or outcomes, it often comes from a place of fear and scarcity. You might fear that if you don't act quickly, you'll miss out, or you might feel that if you don't chase what you want, it will never come to you. But in truth, chasing only pushes what you want further away, draining your energy and leaving you in a constant state of dissatisfaction. The shift from chasing to attracting is a powerful transformation that can change the course of your life. It involves recognizing your own worth, aligning yourself with your true purpose, and understanding that the best things in life are drawn to you when you stop chasing after them. Chasing stems from a belief that you don't have enough, that what you want is outside of your reach. It's a mindset of scarcity, one that leads you to act from a place of desperation. When you chase after something, whether it's a person, a job, or a dream, you're operating out of fear. You fear that if you don't take action now, you'll lose the opportunity or miss your chance forever. But this mindset only leads to frustration and burnout. It's like running after something that's always a step ahead of you, no matter how fast you go. The harder you chase, the more elusive it becomes. Attracting, on the other hand, comes from a place of abundance. It's about aligning yourself with what you want, being clear about your intentions, and having faith that the right opportunities and people will come to you at the right time. Attraction is not about force, it's about flow. It's about creating an energy that pulls what's meant for you toward you without having to run after it. When you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, you stop forcing things and start allowing them to unfold naturally. The key to attracting what you want is to first focus on yourself. You must become the kind of person who naturally attracts what you desire. This doesn't mean changing who you are or pretending to be someone else. It means aligning with your highest self, cultivating your passions, and growing into the best version of yourself. The energy you put out into the world is what you will attract. If you're constantly chasing, you're projecting an energy of need and desperation. But when you focus on personal growth and alignment, you emit an energy of confidence, purpose, and positivity, qualities that naturally draw opportunities and people into your life. One of the most important aspects of this shift is learning to trust the process. Too often, people feel the need to control every aspect of their lives. They chase after things, trying to force them into existence, and when things don't go as planned, they become disheartened. But attraction works best when you let go of the need for control. It's about trusting that what's meant for you will come to you when the time is right, and that you don't have to force things to happen. When you stop chasing, you allow the universe or whatever higher power you believe in to work in your favor. You create space for what is truly meant for you to flow into your life. Another key element in attracting rather than chasing is learning the power of patience. Patience is not a passive state, it's an active practice of trust and faith. It's about knowing that you don't have to rush or force things to happen. When you are patient, you allow the right things to come to you in their own time. This doesn't mean sitting idly by and waiting for life to happen to you. It means being proactive in your personal development, continuing to move forward, but without feeling the need to force the outcome. You put your energy into growing, evolving, and becoming the best version of yourself while trusting that everything will fall into place when it's meant to. When you stop chasing, you also stop settling. Chasing often comes from a place of desperation, where you may convince yourself that you're not worthy of something better. You might take whatever comes your way, even if it doesn't fully align with your values or desires, because you fear that you won't find anything better. But when you attract, you are sending a message to the universe that you are worthy of the best. You stop settling for less and hold out for what truly aligns with your values, goals, and desires. You trust that the right opportunities and people will show up and that they will be worth the wait. The universe has a way of bringing you what you need, but it requires that you be patient, confident, and steadfast in your belief that you deserve nothing less than the best. One of the most profound changes that come with this shift is the ability to enjoy the present moment. Chasing often leads to anxiety, stress, and a constant sense of urgency. You're so focused on what's next that you forget to enjoy the process and the journey you're on right now. When you stop chasing and start attracting, you begin to appreciate the present moment for what it is. You become more mindful of the opportunities and experiences that are unfolding before you, and you learn to savor the process of becoming the person you're meant to be. The more you focus on the present, the more you begin to attract the future you desire. The shift from chasing to attracting also impacts your relationships. When you're chasing someone, whether it's a romantic partner or a friend, you're not allowing the relationship to grow organically. You're trying to force something that may not be right for you. But when you attract, you're creating space for authentic connections to flourish. You no longer have to beg for love or attention, because the people who are meant for you will naturally gravitate toward you. You'll attract relationships that are built on mutual respect, understanding, and shared values, rather than those based on neediness or desperation. In the world of business and career, the same principle applies. If you're constantly chasing success, promotions, or opportunities, you're exhausting yourself. Instead, focus on building your skills, nurturing your network, and aligning with your purpose. Opportunities will come to you when you're ready for them, and they will be far more rewarding than the ones you had to chase down. When you are aligned with your purpose and passionate about what you do, people and opportunities will naturally gravitate toward you. You won't need to chase them, they will come to you because your energy and your work speak for themselves. Stop chasing after the things that you think you want and start attracting the things that are meant for you. Align yourself with your highest self, trust the process, and be patient. The best things in life are drawn to you when you stop forcing them into existence. When you focus on growth, authenticity, and purpose, you begin to attract everything that's in alignment with who you truly are. The universe will bring you the opportunities, relationships, and experiences that you deserve, but only when you stop chasing and start attracting. In today's digital age, texting has become one of the most common forms of communication, yet it often leads to misunderstandings, overthinking, and unnecessary stress. People frequently rely on texting to keep in constant touch with others, often thinking that more messages will strengthen connections, clarify intentions, or secure attention. However, excessive texting can often have the opposite effect, distancing you from genuine connection and causing more harm than good. The idea that you need to constantly text, check in, or flood someone's phone with messages to maintain a relationship or stay relevant is not only exhausting, but it can also devalue your worth and create unnecessary emotional turmoil. The first reason excessive texting can be harmful is that it creates an expectation of immediate responses. The rise of instant communication has led to a culture of impatience where people expect replies within seconds or minutes, and this constant pressure can be draining. The need for constant validation through quick responses can lead to anxiety, frustration, and misunderstandings. When you engage in excessive texting, you're essentially setting up a cycle where you rely on someone else's immediate attention to feel valued. This is a dangerous pattern because it can cause you to question your self-worth based on how quickly someone else responds to you, rather than the quality of the relationship itself. Constant texting doesn't provide depth or meaning, it just creates a false sense of connection based on superficial interactions. The real value in relationships comes from genuine communication, not from the constant ping of a phone screen. Another issue with excessive texting is that it can blur the lines between meaningful conversation and mindless chatter. Sometimes, in an attempt to stay connected, people end up texting endlessly about trivial matters that don't actually enhance the relationship. These conversations can become repetitive, draining, and unproductive, leaving both parties feeling as though they've spent time and energy on something that doesn't move them forward. Relationships thrive on quality, not quantity, and it's far more fulfilling to engage in meaningful face-to-face conversations or deep phone calls than to waste hours sending fragmented messages that don't contribute to a real connection. Texting too much can make both people feel like they're just going through the motions rather than having an authentic interaction. It's important to understand that not every moment needs to be filled with texting. Sometimes silence can be just as valuable as communication, allowing space for reflection, growth, and the development of deeper connections. The habit of excessive texting can also lead to miscommunication. Texting lacks tone, body language, and context, all of which are vital components of effective communication. Without these cues, messages can be easily misinterpreted, leading to confusion and unnecessary conflict. A short, neutral message can be read as cold or dismissive, and a long, emotional message can come across as overwhelming. The absence of tone can create doubts and questions in your mind about the intent behind the message. When you're constantly texting, you're setting yourself up for the potential of misunderstanding, and often it's not worth the risk. Instead of relying on texting for everything, it's far more effective to have conversations in person or over the phone, where you can express yourself more clearly, using tone and context to ensure the message is received as it's intended. Another reason why excessive texting is not necessary is that it can disrupt your personal time and mental peace. When you're constantly checking your phone or sending messages, you're not fully present in the moment. Whether it's during work, time with friends, or moments of rest, texting can pull your focus away from what truly matters. This constant need for connection can lead to a sense of emotional depletion. Instead of enjoying the activity you're engaged in or being present with the people around you, your attention is divided by the distraction of your phone. The more you text, the less you're able to be fully immersed in the current moment, and this constant multitasking can lead to burnout. It's crucial to recognize that you don't need to be available to everyone at all times. Your mental health and personal space are just as important as maintaining connections with others. Additionally, excessive texting can create a false sense of closeness. Texting frequently may seem like you're staying connected with someone, but it doesn't provide the depth that face-to-face interaction or meaningful phone calls can offer. It can create the illusion of intimacy without the substance. Real relationships are built on shared experiences, trust, and deep conversations, none of which can be truly replicated through a phone screen. If you spend all your time texting, you might overlook the importance of quality time spent with the person, whether it's having an in-depth conversation, enjoying an activity together, or simply being present without the distraction of technology. Real connections are not built on a barrage of text messages, but on mutual understanding, respect, and shared experiences that transcend the digital realm. Excessive texting can also diminish your ability to communicate effectively in person. The more time you spend texting, the less you may practice face-to-face communication skills. Texting is often indirect and can give you more time to think and craft your words, but this doesn't translate well into real-life conversations where you need to think on your feet, respond to body language, and adjust to the energy in the room. If you're too accustomed to relying on texting to communicate, it may become more challenging to have spontaneous and meaningful conversations in person. The ability to express yourself clearly and confidently in real-life interactions is a crucial skill that cannot be developed through texting alone. You need to recognize that texting excessively can signal a lack of boundaries. Healthy relationships require respect for personal space and time, and constant texting can be a sign of overdependency. When you're texting someone nonstop, it can imply that you're expecting them to be always available, or that you need constant reassurance, which isn't healthy for either party. It's essential to create and maintain boundaries that allow both people in the relationship to grow independently. Constant texting, especially when it becomes overwhelming or invasive, can erode these boundaries and lead to a sense of being consumed by the need for validation. In conclusion, excessive texting is not necessary for maintaining healthy relationships or achieving meaningful communication. It can lead to anxiety, miscommunication, and a loss of personal boundaries. Instead of focusing on constant texting, invest time in quality conversations, whether face-to-face or over the phone, and learn to value presence over quantity. Remember, relationships are built on understanding, trust, and genuine interaction, not the frequency of messages exchanged. Allowing space for silence, patience, and meaningful conversations will create stronger, more fulfilling connections. Life is not a game, yet far too many people treat it as if it is. They play by the rules of manipulation, deceit, and shortcuts, trying to outsmart others, win at all costs, and chase temporary pleasures instead of focusing on lasting fulfillment. But life isn't something to be gamed. It's a precious, one-time experience that deserves to be lived with integrity, purpose, and authenticity. Treating life like a game only leads to disappointment, confusion, and emptiness. The true essence of life lies in its complexity, the depth of human connections, and the pursuit of meaningful goals. Life is a journey, not a competition, and it should be treated as such. When people treat life as a game, they often do so because they're seeking validation, control, or external rewards. They play games in relationships, work environments, and personal ambitions, hoping to come out on top without considering the consequences. In relationships, this might manifest as playing mind games, testing someone's loyalty, pretending to be someone you're not, or manipulating situations to get what you want. At work, it could involve pretending to be more competent than you actually are, cutting corners or undermining others to climb the ladder. These tactics may work temporarily, but they will never bring true happiness or fulfillment. They leave behind a trail of broken trust, damaged relationships, and feelings of emptiness. Treating life like a game makes you lose sight of what really matters, and in the end, it leads to burnout and regret. One of the most damaging aspects of treating life like a game is the false belief that winning is everything. Society often places an emphasis on external markers of success, wealth, status, popularity, or accolades. Many people view life through this narrow lens, believing that the only thing that matters is being the winner, the best, or the most successful. They chase these superficial rewards, often at the expense of their own well-being, happiness, and relationships. But in reality, these external markers of success are not what truly matters. Life is about creating a legacy, building meaningful connections, and pursuing passions that bring fulfillment. The pressure to win can overshadow the deeper, more profound aspects of life that bring true contentment, such as love, purpose, and peace of mind. Treating life like a game also involves ignoring the importance of character and integrity. People who treat life as a game often adopt the mindset of doing whatever it takes to win, regardless of who they hurt along the way. This mindset leads to dishonesty, manipulation, and selfishness. It creates a toxic cycle where people are more concerned with winning than with living in a way that reflects their true values. Integrity and authenticity are the building blocks of a meaningful life. When you play life with integrity, you stand firm in your values, you treat others with respect, And you make choices based on what's right, not based on what will give you the most immediate or superficial rewards. A life built on integrity and authenticity is one that brings lasting peace and satisfaction, while playing games with your values will only leave you feeling unfulfilled. Another aspect of treating life like a game is the tendency to avoid responsibility. When life is seen as a game, people may begin to shift the blame for their failures or struggles onto external circumstances or other people. Instead of taking responsibility for their actions, decisions, and outcomes, they look for scapegoats or excuses. This mindset prevents growth and limits personal development. True strength comes from owning your actions, learning from your mistakes, and taking accountability for the choices you make. Life isn't about passing the blame, it's about owning your journey, embracing both your triumphs and your setbacks, and learning from every experience. When you take full responsibility for your life, you empower yourself to create the outcomes you want, rather than passively allowing circumstances or others to dictate your path. Setting boundaries is one of the most empowering and essential practices for maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. It's about understanding your limits, protecting your energy, and taking control of your life. Too often, people neglect the importance of boundaries either because they fear confrontation, worry about disappointing others, or are simply unaware of how crucial boundaries are for their overall health. However, when you fail to set clear boundaries, you risk burnout, resentment, and a loss of personal identity. By establishing healthy boundaries, you are giving yourself permission to prioritize your needs, protect your space, and foster healthier relationships. At the core of boundary setting is self-awareness. Before you can establish boundaries, you must first understand what you need to feel balanced and fulfilled. This means taking a step back and reflecting on your own emotional, physical, and mental needs. What drains you? What leaves you feeling depleted? On the other hand, what energizes you, makes you feel alive, and contributes positively to your life? Understanding your values, limitations, and what feels right for you will serve as the foundation for your boundaries. Without this awareness, it's impossible to set limits that align with your true self. This level of self-awareness not only helps you identify your boundaries, but also ensures that you're able to articulate them clearly to others without guilt or hesitation. Boundaries are not about building walls to shut others out. Rather, they are about creating a healthy space where you can thrive. They allow you to show up as your authentic self without sacrificing your well-being for the sake of others' expectations or demands. By setting boundaries, you take responsibility for your own life and well-being, giving yourself permission to say no to things that don't serve you and yes to the things that align with your values. This helps you cultivate a sense of peace and clarity, as you're no longer trying to please everyone or meet the unrealistic demands of others. One of the primary reasons people fail to set boundaries is the fear of being judged or rejected. Many worry that if they assert their needs, they will upset others, be seen as selfish, or lose relationships. However, the reality is that failing to set boundaries often leads to greater dissatisfaction, resentment, and burnout. When you constantly put others' needs before your own, you begin to lose sight of who you are, what you want, and what makes you happy. Over time, this builds frustration as you feel taken for granted, and the quality of your relationships may begin to suffer. By setting clear and respectful boundaries, you are actually contributing to more authentic, healthier relationships where both parties understand each other's needs and respect each other's space. Setting boundaries also requires learning the art of saying no. Many people find it challenging to say no, especially when they fear disappointing others or causing conflict. But saying no is an essential part of boundary setting. It's about protecting your time, your energy, and your resources. Saying yes to everything often leads to overcommitting, stress, and feeling overwhelmed. On the other hand, saying no when something doesn't align with your needs or values is a powerful act of self-care. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to people-pleasing, but it's a practice that becomes easier with time. When you say no, you're making space for the things that matter most to you, whether that's rest, time with loved ones, or pursuing your personal goals. You're also sending a message that you respect yourself and your time, and that you value your own needs as much as those of others. In addition to saying no, boundaries involve setting limits on how much you give of yourself to others. Whether it's in your personal relationships, at work, or in social settings, it's important to recognize when you've given enough and need to take a step back. Giving too much of yourself without receiving the same in return can lead to burnout and feelings of being unappreciated. Setting limits allows you to preserve your energy and emotional well-being, ensuring that you can continue to show up as your best self without sacrificing your own happiness. Boundaries in giving also help you to recognize that it's okay to take breaks, to rest, and to focus on your own needs without feeling guilty. Another aspect of boundary setting is learning to deal with those who push or violate your limits. It's inevitable that some people may challenge your boundaries, whether it's through manipulation, guilt, or simply not respecting your needs. In these situations, it's important to stand firm and communicate clearly. Being assertive doesn't mean being rude or confrontational. It means calmly and confidently expressing your needs and limits. For example, if someone is constantly calling you during your designated rest time, you can politely let them know that you are unavailable during that time but are happy to connect at a later point. It's important to remember that when others push against your boundaries, it is a reflection of their needs or behaviors, not your worth or desires. You are not responsible for how others react to your boundaries, and it's crucial to not internalize their responses. Setting boundaries also plays a significant role in mental and emotional health. Without boundaries, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the demands of others, leading to stress, anxiety, and a sense of powerlessness. Boundaries act as a form of self-preservation. When you establish limits around what is acceptable in terms of behavior, communication, and personal space, you reduce the likelihood of feeling violated or emotionally drained. For example, in emotionally taxing relationships, setting boundaries allows you to protect yourself from manipulation, verbal abuse, or excessive demands. You can choose to engage in a relationship on your own terms, maintaining your emotional well-being while also fostering a healthier dynamic. At work, boundaries are just as essential. Without boundaries in the workplace, you risk overworking yourself, sacrificing your personal time, and experiencing burnout. Setting boundaries around your work hours, the tasks you take on, and how you manage your workload can help you maintain a healthy work-life balance. It's important to communicate your limits clearly with colleagues and supervisors, as this will help set realistic expectations and reduce stress. Being able to say no to extra tasks or delegate work when necessary is an essential skill that contributes to your overall productivity and satisfaction at work. In relationships, boundaries ensure that both individuals feel respected, valued, and heard. Healthy boundaries allow for mutual respect and understanding, preventing one person from becoming overly dependent or taking the other for granted. In romantic relationships, for example, setting emotional and physical boundaries is essential for creating a balanced and healthy partnership. When both partners understand and respect each other's limits, it fosters trust, intimacy, and a deeper connection. Setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness or avoidance, it's an essential practice for maintaining a balanced, healthy life. By setting clear and respectful boundaries, you protect your energy, preserve your emotional well-being, and cultivate healthier relationships. Boundaries allow you to prioritize your needs, assert your values, and create space for personal growth and fulfillment. While it may take time to become comfortable with setting limits, it is a skill that will enhance every aspect of your life. Remember that setting boundaries is not about building walls, but about creating a space where you can thrive, protect your peace, and live authentically. Patience is one of the most powerful qualities a person can cultivate, yet it's often overlooked or undervalued in today's fast-paced world. We live in an era of instant gratification where technology, social media, and modern conveniences have conditioned us to expect immediate results. From ordering food to receiving feedback, it seems that everything can be obtained with the touch of a button. However, true success and personal growth rarely come instantly. Embracing the power of patience means understanding that the best things in life take time, effort, and persistence. It's about trusting the process, staying committed through challenges, and allowing life to unfold at its own pace. Patience allows you to remain calm and composed in the face of uncertainty or difficulty. In many areas of life, whether it's in relationships, career aspirations, or personal development, you will encounter obstacles. These challenges can be frustrating, and it's easy to feel impatient or overwhelmed when things aren't progressing as quickly as you'd like. However, rushing or forcing things rarely produces the best outcomes. Patience is about accepting that not everything happens on your timeline and understanding that delays or setbacks are a natural part of any journey. When you practice patience, you are better able to maintain a clear mind and approach each situation with a sense of perspective. You recognize that setbacks are temporary and that perseverance and dedication will ultimately lead to the results you desire. Another aspect of embracing patience is learning to trust the process. In a world where immediate results are often expected, we can easily fall into the trap of thinking that progress should always be linear or quick. But in reality, progress is often messy, non-linear, and unpredictable. Patience teaches you to trust that the effort you put in today will pay off in time, even if you can't see immediate results. Whether you're working toward a career goal, building a meaningful relationship, or making personal changes, the journey is rarely straightforward. There will be ups and downs, periods of doubt, and moments where you question whether your efforts are worth it. But when you embrace patience, you learn to trust that every step, no matter how small, is moving you forward. Patience is about having faith in the process, knowing that the work you're putting in now is laying the foundation for future success. Patience also helps you develop resilience, the ability to withstand adversity and keep going in the face of challenges. In life, things don't always go according to plan. You will face obstacles, failures, and disappointments that test your resolve. But by embracing patience, you become more adaptable and better able to cope with setbacks. Instead of getting discouraged or giving up, you learn to remain steady and focused on the bigger picture. Patience enables you to take things one day at a time rather than feeling overwhelmed by the long road ahead. It's about building inner strength and perseverance, understanding that no matter how difficult things may seem in the moment, they will eventually pass. This sense of resilience makes it easier to overcome life's challenges because you know that you have the capacity to endure and adapt. The power of patience also lies in its ability to cultivate a sense of inner peace. When you are impatient, you are often anxious, restless, or dissatisfied. You feel like you're constantly striving for something that's just out of reach, which can lead to frustration and stress. In contrast, when you embrace patience, you free yourself from the need to control every outcome or rush every process. You begin to understand that things will unfold in their own time and that worrying or forcing things won't make them happen any faster. This understanding allows you to cultivate a sense of calm and acceptance, which brings a greater sense of peace into your life. Patience encourages you to be present in the moment and to enjoy the process rather than focusing solely on the destination. This shift in mindset can dramatically reduce feelings of stress and anxiety, leading to a more balanced and peaceful life. Moreover, patience improves your decision-making skills. When you are impatient, you may make rash decisions in an attempt to achieve quick results. These impulsive decisions can lead to mistakes or missed opportunities. In contrast, patience allows you to take a step back, think things through, and make more thoughtful choices. By waiting for the right moment and not rushing into things, you are more likely to make decisions that align with your long-term goals and values. Whether you're making decisions about your career, finances, or relationships, patience helps you avoid hasty decisions that could have negative consequences down the road. It teaches you to weigh your options carefully, consider different perspectives, and make choices that are in your best interest. Patience also deepens your relationships with others. In today's world, it's easy to become impatient with people, especially when expectations are high or situations aren't progressing the way you'd like. However, patience is essential for building meaningful connections. People need time to grow, change, and learn, and if you expect instant results or immediate perfection from others, you will often be disappointed. By embracing patience, you give others the space they need to evolve and develop at their own pace. Whether it's in romantic relationships, friendships, or professional connections, patience allows you to accept others for who they are, rather than trying to change them to fit your expectations. It helps you navigate conflicts with greater understanding and compassion, knowing that growth and change take time. When you practice patience in relationships, you create a more supportive, empathetic environment where both parties can thrive. Finally, patience teaches you the value of delayed gratification. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with advertisements, social media, and the pressure to have everything now, it can be difficult to resist the temptation for immediate rewards. However, the ability to delay gratification is a key component of long-term success and happiness. When you embrace patience, you learn to wait for what truly matters rather than settling for short-term pleasures. This might mean working toward a goal for months or even years before seeing significant results, but the rewards of that effort are often far more satisfying than anything you could achieve through quick fixes. Patience helps you develop a deeper sense of appreciation for the things you've worked hard for, and it gives you the strength to resist impulsive decisions that might derail your progress. Embracing the power of patience is about accepting that the best things in life take time and effort. It's about trusting the process, developing resilience, cultivating inner peace, making thoughtful decisions, and building stronger relationships. Patience allows you to stay focused on your long-term goals, even in the face of setbacks or challenges. It helps you appreciate the journey and find contentment in the present moment, rather than constantly seeking immediate rewards or results. By embracing patience, you empower yourself to live a more balanced, peaceful, and fulfilling life, and you set yourself up for greater success in the future. Remember, you are the author of your story. Don't let anyone else control your narrative. Don't beg for their approval. Don't chase their love. And don't waste your precious time playing games. You have everything within you to create the life you desire. Stand tall, trust the process, and know that what's meant for you will always find its way to you.